I want to be the very best TemTem player. Wait, what? Do you think I was talking about Pokemon? That has nothing to do with Pokemon, just like this game. I mean, who doesn't grow up wanting to be the best trainer there ever was and have a local researcher choose you at a young age and bring you in and give you one of these 3 very rare creatures that he has and set you off to train, learn, and discover more about these things? And if you'd have a goal to be the very best trainer, in order to do so, you get to defeat 8 iconic leaders throughout this continent and this world.
So we have Metapod and Pidgey.
Okay, now all jokes aside, this is obviously a Pokemon-inspired game, but I would not call it a clone or a copycat. Yes, there are similar things, but at the core, the gameplay overall changes, and let me explain.
Dude, man, every single one of attacks from the Hoochik is amazing looking.
Yes, when we look at it from a broad view, it is very similar to Pokemon. You have 6 creatures with you. Each creature has 4 abilities. They level up. They have different attributes, whether it's fire, flying, things along those lines. They're super effective against others. There's weak against others. You have your abilities that you can learn as you level up. They can evolve.
Oh yeah, Swally evolved to something.
But when I started playing the game, I tried to bring in my old strategy playing Pokemon, which was use 2 Pokemon for everything from the very beginning all the way up beating the Elite Four in the final game, and have my other 4 Pokemon be my skill slaves of using Fly, Surf, Teleport, Cut, anything along those lines. In this game, you cannot do that, and I learned that very quickly, as you have 2 TemTem out at the same time. And instead of using the PowerPoint system that Pokemon uses, you have a stamina system. When you start combat, your stamina will be full, and as you use different abilities, it actually drains down. If an ability drains you negative, you're going to take damage and you're going to be stunned and lose your next turn. At the end of every turn, no matter what, you gain a little bit of stamina back. So it's a resource management system of understanding when to use big skills or when to try to recharge and build your characters back up.
But so like every time you use a skill, right, you can only use it so many times so you run out of the abilities to use it. This game does it better. You actually have a stamina system. So there's 2 different things. One, telekinetic shrapnel. I can't use that because every time you use it, it has to recharge, and it starts off with just 1 charge per turn. So that's why I can't use it. I need 1 more skill to be able to use it. And then also the little number right here is how much stamina it takes to use this skill. And so you can see my stamina here. And then if you go negative stamina, it's actually going to hurt you for 2 hit points every stamina you go down. So it's a very flow-based game, and you gain so much stamina back every turn. So you want to try to use the good skills. And then also you have other skills, like this skill here. The part on the left, I can't really take my mouse up because if I do, it disappears. The part on the left is standard skill, and it does, like, you know, the damage rating of it is 45, takes 11 stamina, and it gives him exhaust for 1 turn. But then if my partner guy I'm fighting with is a certain type, so in this situation, if it's nature, then it gets empowered because we'll harvest some of, like, we'll pretty much absorb some of his energy to use this power more powerful, and so damage goes up to 60. So we'll like, watch, I'll show you that. So when I hit it, I'm gonna use it on this guy here, and then Fatty McFat will just slam. So let's see how that energy came out of him, and so then there was that attack.
By fighting someone with a lot of other TemTem, you're not going to be able to win with just 2. You would run out of stamina, your TemTem would be torn down, and they would start hurting themselves, losing their turns, and it'd be very easily beaten by the others, even if you have a Jurassic level on the TemTems you're fighting against. So what I learned was you want to set them up in pairs about who's going to be able to synergize well with another one, both when it comes to if my TemTem on the left is weak against lightning, then maybe my TemTem on the right will help fight the lightning and cover up his weak spots, and vice versa. The other part about it is the TemTem's abilities can actually be empowered through a synergy system. By one TemTem fighting with another TemTem, their skill can actually be empowered depending on that other TemTem's abilities and traits. The other ideas is when we look at shows, whether it was Dragon Ball Z or any other show where people are fighting, there was always a mechanic of someone running out of energy, and that's what the stamina is. And in the past when we play Pokemon, I would just throw the biggest guy out there, just wail on him, one shot, next guy, one shot, next guy, fights over, and we move on. But here, I actually won some very hard, difficult fights by not trying to actually attack and tear down the opponent, by actually trying to sustain and outlast him running out of his stamina, and then start damaging and hurting himself, and then I was able to just slowly whittle him down through a kind of a defensive mechanic. I would go as far as saying is by trying to play offensive always, you're going to lose a lot more than you win. There's times you need to play in a defensive manner and protect and try to whittle down or prepare another guy to come in. So say if there's a very hard-hitting guy that was fighting, I want my defensive guys take a couple of his large hits, lower down on his stamina, then I can bring in a more of an attacker to then finish him off.
Done. Done, chat.
When I first started and started going through the first area, and before I beat the first dojo, as what TemTem calls them, I kept cycling through different TemTem thinking they were absolutely terrible because I had that Pokemon mentality in my mind that I should just be able to level up a little bit higher, tear down and destroy everything in my path. And I came to the conclusion pretty quickly. It's like, actually, no, my mindset needs to change. This is a different game. It is not the standard Pokemon, and that same strategies used in the past are not going to measure up here. That's when I started building up a team and started looking around and trying to get more than just one or two guys, but get to that 4, 5, up to 6 guys, and each one has his value. And it's to be expected. On a hard fight, you will have a lot of your team faint and be killed. While in Pokemon in the past, that was very simple to not do that. It was very easy. If a Pokemon died in a fight, that was seen as a failure. And in fact, the game mechanics ingrain it so much that they actually have an item that you can carry. Whenever you go back and actually refresh and heal up your TemTem, you get another use of this item, and you can use it once until you have to refresh it again. And what it does is it just full heals your entire party, which reinforces that mechanic that you will whittle these guys down. They will slowly get faded away, and you need to refresh and recover while you're out there in the field. Otherwise, you'd be running back just too much. In combat, both from wild and random trainers out exploring are not something that's easy or no challenge at all. In Pokemon, we would fight those bug trainers and they would just have a bunch of trash of the same guy, and it just felt like an inconvenience. And here we see it, if you actually don't take these seriously, you will find yourself running back and healing a lot more than you might normally think. It might be a challenge just for you to get through something very basic and easy for most to the next area. You might find yourself having to train up and out-level all your opponents because you're not taking the fighting mechanics seriously, and you're just trying to use your 2 or few normal guys and just force your way through instead of using strategic plans in your combat and your fighting. As of time of making this video, the game is still in early access and not all content has been introduced, but we do get a small taste of what is to come. For example, there's side quests, and I love this idea of different things that you can do to, whether they're daily or little unique activities to help get items that you might come along instead of just finding them randomly sitting on the ground. It also makes it more immersive in an idea of we truly are in this world.
I like how there's quests. That's a good thing to have.
Second is, and this is most important, is the idea of the MMO, or the massively multiplayer experience behind this. As you run around, you'll see other trainers with their TemTem following behind them. You'll see them with the symbol above their head if they're in combat, and that can help know that, man, there might be a trainer up ahead. You can also see groups of trainers congregating around a certain area trying to catch a very specific TemTem for breeding or maybe just other purposes of wanting that TemTem for their party. Now, right now, when it comes to the full multiplayer experience, we mainly have just combat of fighting with other human players, or we have a cooperative experience where you can sync up, and then when one of you gets into combat, the other joins combat with them. One of you will control one of the TemTem and the other will control the other, and you try to build up and fight together. It's a great idea to help further the game, but it's not needed or something that greatly helps you in any way. If you were to have a friend that was drastically out level you, try to come and play with you, there'd be no difference between that and him using his high level TemTem or just trading him over to you for you to play with yourself. We currently have 3 islands to explore, each with its own unique atmosphere, environment, and locations. With a total of 6 islands planned for release, it's looking pretty good so far. So some things I would love to see in the future of the game and at release would be really expanding on the multiplayer aspects. There's 2 different ideas I have in mind. Now, these are not confirmed in any way, but I would really think it'd be something enjoyable experience if we could do something along this. The first being to be able to temporarily take over for an AI their spot, and so the next combat they would get into, you would actually fight in their place. And then if you were to fight an AI, this AI normally would have, let's say, a level 14, a level 12, and a level 10 of flying type TemTem. Then you would have to then choose 3 flying type TemTem, and then yours would be leveled down to be the appropriate difficulty for that area. It'd be a cool little mechanic to try to go in, try to see if you can stump someone or knock them off, and have a reward for actually winning and doing so. Another mechanic I think would be really cool is creating your own dojos. Now, they have talked about how there will be guilds or dojos or player ran dojos, but we don't know how that would be. But I think a really good way to do it would be for your team to set up 5 or 6 players, and you each choose, let's say, 4 TemTem each. The AI will then control these, and other dojos could choose to come and attack you, and they will come in with 5 live players. Each one will be randomly tied up with another one to fight against. The winner will then remain with the same damage and their TemTem currently hurt or exhausted in any way that they currently are, to continue to fight the rest. And there will be one side standing, whether it's one dojo or the other. But that's how it would go down, and that's how it would win. You fight as live for your team of your 5 players attacking another dojo. Then that one could be AI controlled. That way it's not required for the defenders have to be online, and you can get on with your own group of friends at your own scheduled time and fight other dojos. There could also be a live battle incorporate, but I think that'd be a really good way to actually do the standings, because you could have both train up defending style TemTem and also offensive style TemTem for defending it. Now, a lot can change and a lot can come out. The game has right now an estimated release date in 2021, so we're quite a ways out. But currently, as the game stands, it's a great game that I'm very excited to see and look forward to playing. If you guys want to catch me live or see me playing this game or any other game, please come over to my Twitch channel. The information's down below. I stream Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturdays. Thank you guys for tuning in. To see more videos like this, please subscribe. Leave me a comment down below. I'll make sure I answer that. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you next time.
Then I can save you. Okay, I lied. It saved you. But next turn you die.